Hello, hello, hello. This is the Orlando Magic Nation, your source for all things Orlando Magic on YouTube. For Magic fans, by a Magic fan. I'm Edwin Valentine, and I want to thank you very much for clicking on this video and spending a little bit of time talking Magic with me. Share this video, hit that like, or drop a comment below that lets me know which one of these upcoming futures are you most excited about. This is a video about the betting odds for the Orlando Magic for the 2025-2026 season. Not just the team, but also the players. I take these odds very much like I take the showcase games or the nationally televised games that were released last week as a way for us to see what the perception is of the Magic from the outside world. Obviously, as Magic fans, we're going to be very homery and we're going to be like, oh, yeah, this is going to be the best. That's going to be the best. But in reality, we're fans, so we're obviously thinking higher of our guys. But in these sports books or in the 2K26 or in these podcasts and these articles and all of that, there's someone from the outside that's critiquing the Magic. So here we have the betting odds, so we'll go over them just to kind of see where we stack up for the rest of the teams in the NBA and some of the rest of the players in the NBA. If you're not a betting person, so you don't really know what some of these things mean, if there's a plus number, that means that if you bet $100, you get that amount. So if there's something that says plus 2,500, that means if you bet $100, you get $2,500. So it's 25 to 1. Okay. If there's a negative number, then that means that's how much you would pay to make $100. So if an amount is negative $2,500, you need to put $2,500 down to make $100. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, drop it in the comments. Let me know, and I'll try to explain it a different way to you. So we'll start off with the team futures. I'm going to do it in chronological order because that's just the way my brain works, and that's just going to be easier for me. So, the first thing that we can win is our group. So, for us to win our group, we are the betting favorites at plus 200. So, again, if you put $100 down, you win $200. So, it's 2 to 1 odds. So, the Magic are the betting favorite to win their division against the Pistons, the 76ers, the Celtics, and the Nets to make it to the quarterfinals of the NBA Cup. And then for the overall tournament, the Magic have the fourth best odds to win the NBA Cup with plus 1,100. So again, you put 100 down, you make $1,100. So we're behind the Thunder, the Knicks, and the Cavs. So you're going to see the Knicks and the Cavs a lot in this video just because it's generally perceived that we're the third best team in the Eastern Conference behind the Knicks and the Cavaliers. I would say that they're just more known than we are nationally, but either way, you're going to see them ahead of us in a lot of these odds. But ultimately, these don't really mean too much in the end. Again, it's just good to see where even the books have us at. By the way, I'm using FanDuel Sportsbook because FanDuel's the company that sponsors the network that shows the Orlando Magic. So I thought I might as well throw them a bone and use the FanDuel betting odds so that we are all together synergy in one. So that's the NBA tournament or the NBA Cup. If we look at the most valuable player for the NBA Cup, Paolo has the sixth best odds to win the MVP of the NBA Cup tournament at 19 to 1. So plus 1900 or 19 to 1 odds that Paolo wins the MVP of the NBA Cup tournament. He has the sixth best odds. He's not the only Magic player because we know that Franz balls out in the NBA Cup. Franz is a little lower on the list, but he's 42 to 1 or plus 420 or sorry, plus 4,200 to win the most valuable player of the NBA Cup tournament. It seems we have a big three. You're going to see this also in a bunch of the other lists. It seems that the betting public has us having a big three. So Desmond Bane is not much further down than Franz, as you see, only a few names down. Desmond Bane is at plus 6,000 or 60 to 1 odds for him to win the most valuable player of the NBA Cup tournament for 2025. So even right off the bat, this would go until December. So if the beginning of the season goes as we expect in October, November, December, we could be hoisting the NBA Cup tournament trophy. We would have the best record in the Eastern Conference. I think the way the schedule laid out for us at the beginning of the season, it lends itself perfectly for us to come out to a 17 and 3, 15 and 5, 16 and 4 start. So that's very exciting. And a lot of these odds are reflecting that bit as well. All right, so after the NBA Cup is over, then it's time to make the playoffs officially. So for us, our odds are a minus 2,500 to make the playoffs. So again, that means you have to bet $2,500 to win just $100. The reason the bet is so high is because everyone expects the Magic to make the playoffs, so they're not going to make any money. So that's why the odds are as high as they are. So boom. So now we made the playoffs, and then now we look forward to the regular season wins. Now, they've broken this down by 20, 25, 30, 35, 45 wins, and then they go up higher than that. So if we're looking at the odds for the Magic to win 45 plus games in the regular season, which we've only done 8 times in our 36-year history, is win over 45 games in a regular season. Our odds are the third best odds, let's say, at minus 550. So again, you have to put down $550 to win $100. The betting public is speaking. They think we're going to win over 45 games, no problem. Our over under is 50.5 games. So there's a nice happy medium, I guess, between the 45 and the 51, that if you want to hit the over on that, then there's that wiggle room. But 45 to me seems like something bad happened if we don't win 45 games in the regular season. So that's definitely going to be over that. So if you're feeling frisky, they don't do 50. They don't do 50 wins in a regular season. They go straight from 45 to 55 wins in the regular season. We have the sixth best odds to do so at plus 200. So 2-1 odds for the Magic to win 55 games or win more than 55 games in the regular season. So we've only done that 4 times in our history. In our 36 years, we've only won 55 plus games 4 times. So that's not something that we do very often, but Paolo, Franz, Desmond, Jalen, all the rest of the guys, they're going to be doing things that the Magic franchise hasn't done for a very long time or ever. So maybe that means going over 55 wins in a season. Maybe that'll be something that they do on there. Now, for me, I think 55, this bet right here, I'd put money down for this where I am. I'm able to bet. So you should bet responsibly as well. I should put that disclaimer somewhere. Bet responsibly, don't go crazy, but these are just for informational purposes. I would put my money down on this, on them beating the over of 55 wins. I think 56, 57 is likely where we're going to end up with. So that one for me makes sense. So I would hit the over on that. So I'd put that bet down. Now, 60 plus wins. 60 plus wins is something we've never done in the history of Orlando Magic. We've never won over 60 games in a regular season. We've won 60, but never over 60. We have the sixth best odds to do so as well at plus 640. That means, again, you put 100 down, you win $640. This one's a bit too rich for my blood. I don't know if we'll go 61 and 4 or 61 and 21 to round out our schedule. That one feels a bit too rich for my blood, but after the season we had last year where everything went wrong, maybe we have a season this year where everything goes right. Maybe that'll be the case. Maybe all of our threes go in. We shoot 39% as a team or something crazy, and we end up just demolishing teams and have a huge point differential. And everyone's talking about us as being one of the best teams in the NBA's history. Maybe, but that might be a bit much for me. I wouldn't do that one, but if you feel frisky, there's that. Now, if you're going real frisky, there's 65 plus wins. So that means the Magic would have to go 66 and 16. That's really too rich for my blood, at least in this season. Maybe next season, maybe after a season together, they'll really come out guns blazing and they'll do, these incredible things. But this feels a bit too much for me. But if you're so inclined, it's plus 2,200. So 22-1 odds of them winning more than 65 games. So that's the regular season wins. So now if we go to the division We are the odds on favorites at minus 170 to win the Southeast Division over the Hawks, the Heat, the Hornets, and the Washington Wizards. So they've spoken. We won it the last couple of years. We're likely going to win it again this year. So we're the betting favorites at minus 170 to win the division. Now in the conference, like I mentioned, we're used to seeing Cleveland and the Knicks. So here we go. Those two are ahead of us in the odds for winning the Eastern Conference this year. The Magic are third with 5 to 1 odds or plus 500 to win the Eastern Conference this year. I think again we're going to be a 1 or 2 seed in the tournament, so hopefully the Magic fans will come out. We'll have great home court advantage, and we end up demolishing at the Kia Center, and we're just the number 1 seed, and that will help us. That will propel us to the NBA Finals. So if that's something that you think we're going to do, 5 to 1 odds plus 500 doesn't seem too crazy to me, since it seems that we're definitely in that conversation of being the notch below right now those two teams, but after a big start, like I mentioned, everyone's going to mention us in line with those guys, and then we're in the mix. And then lastly, the NBA Finals. So the Magic have the sixth best odds to win the NBA Finals at plus 1500. So 15 to 1 odds for the Orlando Magic to win the NBA Finals. Because once you get there, then anything can happen. As we saw, Indiana last year was only a Halliburton injury of possibly winning the NBA Finals last year. So anything can happen. And I feel we're going to have a better defense, and we're going to have a more talented team than they did last year. They just had a magical run, and that's all take your hats off to them. That's incredible. But I think we're a better team, or we will be a better team next year during next playoffs. So sixth best odds for us to win the NBA Finals. So if we look at some of the awards for the NBA Finals, well, first we do the Eastern Conference. Actually, I should have done the Eastern Conference. So the conference have their own MVPs as well. So that's something that if you didn't remember, it's a new thing. So the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, Paolo Banchero, has the third best odds to win the Eastern Conference Finals MVP award at plus 900 or 9 to 1 odds. Then, if you look a little further down, again, we got a big three. Franz at 2100, at plus 2100 to win the most valuable player of the Eastern Conference. And Desmond Bain, same thing. Desmond Bain at 32 to 1 or plus 3200 to win the Eastern Conference most valuable player trophy. Big three. That's pretty impressive. Like, we haven't had a big three. I don't think we ended up ever having a big three in the end. We've always tried to put one together, but for us to have three names so high in the conversation and in these conversations, I think that's great news. Again, the bookies, they are expecting us to have a great team and for these guys to have a great season. So if we go back to the NBA Finals, again, we have the sixth best odds, but if we look at the MVP of the NBA Finals, Paolo Banchero has the eighth best odds to be the NBA Finals MVP at 25 to 1 odds or plus 2,500. And once you get there, as we saw a couple years ago with Boston, Tatum didn't win it. Jaylen Brown did. And when the Warriors won it the first time, Andre Iguodala won it that year. So the best team does, or the best player on the team doesn't necessarily always win the trophy. So Franz here is at 50 to 1 to win the most valuable player of the NBA Finals. And if you scroll down a little more, there's Desmond Bain again. Desmond Bain, 85 to 1 odds to win the most valuable player of the NBA Finals. So again, looks like the betting world has the Magic with a big three. So if we get there, you never know. Anybody can ball out and end up winning that trophy. Some of the other awards that we're looking through is the most valuable player award. So Paolo has the ninth best odds to win the most valuable player awards for the regular season. As I mentioned in other videos, I think Paolo is going to be in the conversation all year long. I think he's going to be at least top 2 or top 3 in the betting. That I believe Paolo is going to be in the top 3 of votes. I believe Paolo's going to be in the top three vote getter for the MVP award this year. He's going to be all NBA. He's just going to ball out. He's going to be incredible. So having the ninth best odds, I think now it's not so bad. So if you were a betting person, I might take those odds now because those odds are going to shorten real quick once he comes out guns a blazing at the beginning of the season with the rest of the team on there. So he has the ninth best odds here. You might remember he had the eighth best odds at the for to win the most valuable player of the NBA Finals. That's because just the teams that the bookies think are going to make the NBA Finals. So that's just the way that goes. So if we scroll down here, we have Franz as well. So again, wherever Paolo is, Franz and then Desmond Bain have also ended up being pretty close together. That just seems to be the way it is. So Franz is at 400 to 1 to win the MVP for the regular season. And lastly, Desmond at 500 to 1 to win the MVP for the regular season. Three guys this high in the list, to me, that's, again, music to my ears. And again, shows that there's a good perception of the Orlando Magic for there. Now, if we look at the defensive player of the year, here are the top six guys. But if you look at number 7, we got Jalen Suggs there. Now, guards don't normally win this award anymore, especially with just the way the voting is done. Everybody just loves the shot blockers and the guys who are protecting the rim. So unfortunately, guards really don't get the publicity that they need to win this award. But Jalen blocks shots. So just like Derek White a few years ago, getting a lot closer in voting than it has been in recent years. Jalen, if healthy, if he plays the 65 games that he needs to play, could be in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. We're also hoping he can make all defensive first team. Again, that's also now the voting has changed for that. So a lot of guards, it's getting hard for them to make the first team as well. But if all goes well, Jalen's healthy, Jalen balls out. Jalen's that hound that basically is hounding people full court and jiving through screens and blocking jumpers and doing all the things that Jalen does. We could see him make this for sure. His odds, if I didn't say it before, are 40 to 1 to win the Defensive Player of the Year. And if you look at 2K26, it's a bit funny in the end because we've got Paolo at 500 to 1 to win the Defensive Player of the Year. But that made me smile in that they have his defense so down in that game. But anywho, we don't worry about that. Rookie of the Year. We do have Jace on this here. Jace is at 250 to 1 to win Rookie of the Year. We don't know how much he's going to play. He's likely not going to be on the court way too much because we have good depth and hopefully we don't have a lot of injuries. But if Jace has to come onto the court and he starts balling out, then I don't think there's a lot of guys. Obviously, Cooper Flag is likely going to win it, but we can definitely put himself in the conversation. So let's hope that that is the case. For most improved player, our guy here is Jalen, oddly enough. So Jalen is the top Magic player listed on here at 40 to 1 for most improved. I don't really know how much more he can improve. Of course, he can improve in his passing, he can improve in his dribbling, but those aren't like the fancy things that you need to be noticed for this type of thing. But people might have forgotten that 2 years ago he shot really well. And maybe that's enough if he comes out being the fourth option on the offense now and is just able to shoot freely and hits a high percentage. Maybe everybody just assumes like, oh look, Jalen Suggs is good. He's now a most improved player. So there you go. We might have that. But the person that I also think this award should also be for only guys in their rookie contracts because otherwise it's just odd to me. There could be a comeback player of the year like there used to be. The name on here that I would notice to circle would be Anthony Black. So Anthony Black is 150 to 1 to win this award. Now, AB in his rookie contract, he could make a leap and go from where he has been to where we all hope he would be and be the most valuable player of our bench. So I made a video about the sixth man, like who our sixth man is, and that video is mostly me asking who's going to be the MVP of the bench, not who will be our sixth man, because Tyus likely will be our sixth man or our first guy off the bench, or maybe Tristan will be, just because Franz normally comes out a little early. But our MVP from our bench could be Anthony Black, and he's definitely been working on his jump shot this offseason. So if you are checking his socials, You can see it. It's much more compact. He shot pretty well from the corners last year. So if our geometry is the same and we have Desmond or Tyus at the point up front, or any of our guys at the front, really, we just have two guys on the wings. If AB stays there and just launches away, I think the sky's the limit for AB. So those are our improved players. Sixth man of the year, same thing. I thought we would have Tyus listed on here, but it's actually AB. Tyus isn't listed on here at all. It is AB. AB at 100 to 1 for the sixth man of the year. Again, if the Magic have an insane record and if AB's been balling out and playing defense like he normally can, then of course we're gonna have we're gonna have the narrative like I talked about. That's why we need to come out and come out 10-2, or like I said, 15-5, or 17-3, or have a great record at the beginning. Because again, once that wave starts, then people are just gonna start talking. So AB for sixth man of the year, it's quite a possibility. And another name we have listed on here, Tristan at 250 to 1, plus 25,000 to win the sixth man of the year. Now, again, Tristan is another one that I think can make a big leap. If you check my player profile on Tristan, his role is pretty defined. So if he plays that role and he plays it well, then I think he's going to get, again, the narrative. He's going to get the publicity. He's going to get all that on him. His role on the German national team is the same as it is on the Magic, and he's killing it right now with the German national team in his role. So with a longer game, with all that entails with the NBA season, I think that Tristan obviously could make that next leap and be in the conversation for this award. NBA Clutch Player of the Year. Our number one guy in here is obviously going to be Paolo at 25 to 1. But there's Franz again at 40 to 1, and Desmond right behind him at 50 to 1. So again, our big three showing up in all the lists. Coach of the Year. We had Coach of the Year. Jamal Mosley was in the conversation 2 seasons ago when we made the leap to being a playoff team and winning 47 games. He was a finalist for the award. And here, Mosley is the odds-on favorite to win the award at plus 400. So there you have it. Right now, if you're looking at all the guys on the team, we have guys galore on these lists. So right now, the narrative seems to be that what all the podcasts are talking about, all the shows on ESPN or on Yahoo Sports or Bleacher Report, we're going to have a great season. And the betting public seems to think the same as well, that we are locks to be one of the top 3 seeds in the East. We have a chance to win it. We have a chance to win the NBA Finals. Paolo has a chance of being the most valuable player. Franz as well. Desmond is making a big 3 in Orlando at this point. So we've got Franz, Paolo, Jalen, AB, Tristan, Jamal, all the guys are being talked about in the offseason when it comes to NBA futures. So all that means is that a great year is going to be coming up for us. So again, thank you for spending time. Don't forget to share the video, hit that like button, because those two things really help the channel grow. And drop in the comments which one of these futures you like the most. And if you were so inclined, you might bet. So thank you very much for spending your time with me. I really appreciate you. I hope you're having a great day.